Welcome everybody to Somewhere in Vegas here on Spreaker.com. I'm Mark with the Q. I am your host. And I dived back in the archives once again, but this time for a really cool TV show called Dollhouse. It ended its run on Fox in 2008. If you guys want to go and watch it, they have the old episodes on YouTube, all 3 seasons. It's a really great show, very interesting, very thought-provoking. Joss Whedon did a really great job on the show as well. We have 2 guests on the show this time around. The first is Miracle Laurie, who talks a little bit about, her unique character in the series. Plus, we also talked to her a little bit about her side project, Uke Box Heroes. After her, we talked to Alexis Denisof, who you guys may remember from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel. And we talk a little bit about him and his wife, Alyson Hannigan, working pretty much on the same studio during the time Alyson was raising their kid. It was a pretty interesting kind of situation going on there as well. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get our interview with Miracle Laurie queued up. We'll have a little bit of a break, and after that, our interview with Alexis Denisof.
Okie dokie. I think our very, very special guest is on the line here. Miracle, are you there?
Hello.
Hi. How's everything going out there in Hollywood?
Everything's great, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely great. Show is absolutely fabulous. The last episode was great, especially your part. I thought was absolutely. Your character really got developed this last episode.
Yeah, it's really fun getting to explore her and find out more about her as the season goes on. So it was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. We found out that you had a daughter, and that was the reason why you got put in the program. And it was a very, very interesting episode. It was probably one of the most interesting episodes we've had this season so far.
Yeah, it's really great that we get a chance to explore all the different dolls' past. I mean, we only saw a little bit, basically just the reason we all were brought to the dollhouse for various reasons, and, hopefully we'll get to explore that later on down the line. But yeah, it's interesting because November is actually one of the dolls that really did volunteer to be there. They say that all the dolls volunteer, but however many actually do is kind of, up in the air as far as what really went down with each one of them. And obviously her daughter passed away, and that's what she chose to do, was to become part of the dollhouse.
Were you a big fan of Joss when you first auditioned?
Huge, yeah, huge Buffy fan. I came in a little bit late. A good friend of mine introduced me to the show, and I think after 1 or 2 episodes, I was totally hooked and caught up and was a loyal fan to the end. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and it's got to be great working with Joss. We haven't, to tell you the truth, haven't heard very much from the set about what was going on with Dollhouse and all that too. But what is it like working with Joss?
Joss is a stellar guy. He's brilliant and he's funny, and he's very kind and supportive to all his actors and to me. And I'm kind of really just new on the scene, and there was a lot of exciting stuff for me to do right off the bat. Obviously with the Man on the Street episode, we had the love scene and the fight and all that stuff, and he was just completely supportive the whole time. So really good, really open to questions, and he's got his hand in everything. He's got a lot on his plate, and he's just a brilliant guy. So it's fun to finally meet him and call him a friend, and to be able to work with him is just fantastic.
Have you learned a lot from Joss being on the set?
Have I what?
Have you learned a lot from Joss being on the set?
Yeah, I've learned a lot. Period. But everybody involved in the show, all the producers and the writers that get to hang around each episode, and they're there for questions and support, and just to kind of help to shape the show into what they want it to be. And it's just been tremendous to see how it all works, and all these great people creating something really special.
It is. And what's it like working with Eliza? Eliza is a really interesting talent in herself, and she's been acting a very long time.
She's been around forever. I remember her from True Lies, of course, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was a great movie. Yeah, she's a great girl. Bring It On, obviously, huge hit. And no, she's very sweet. She's again has a lot on her plate too, and it's a big show, and how fun for her. I love that her and Joss created the show, obviously, because I get to be a part of it too. But but it's just it's really, really interesting to see all the stuff she gets to do and watch her work. And I got to do a couple scenes with her throughout the season, and that was really fun. And yeah, everyone in the cast is just a dream, honestly. They're just really beautiful, talented, smart, kind people.
And I mean, do you? I mean, this was one of your first acting gigs, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I've wanted to act since I was a kid. So, growing up, I did community theater and all through high school and college, and got my degree in drama. And was out here hustling and auditioning like everybody else. And this was definitely my breakthrough. And it was like being on the fast track and getting to learn a lot really quickly and be with some really great professional people. So yeah, it's a total dream come true, and I couldn't be happier with how it's all turning out, and it's just fun, get to be part of a Joss Whedon show.
Exactly. I mean, it's exciting. It's definitely an exciting thing, and it's been a while since he's done something. He's did Firefly, and then he did, I think, a couple of movies or whatever. But you kind of missed that kind of thing. Did you ever expect that it would be such a big hit?
Dollhouse?
Yeah.
His fans are fiercely, fiercely loyal, and that in itself is really fun to be a part of that. I've gotten to read some messages from some of them, and they say really nice things about, the work that I do on the show, and then Uke Box Heroes, of course. And so it's been a treat to be a part of that and experience the love that they have for Joss, and kind of have some of it transfer over onto to the work that I do, and that in itself is really special as well.
It is, and it is somewhat of a challenge for you to act. I mean, obviously, you're one of the dolls. We've been following that last couple episodes. I was actually I was thinking for a while that you were actually Alpha for a while, and then
maybe I am.
Well, I don't think so,
sorry.
But
no,
yeah, they recognize Alpha, but yeah, for a while there I thought you were Alpha, but suddenly they revealed that you were one of the dolls, which was kind of an interesting thing. But being a doll in itself is a very kind of tough challenge. I know Eliza always does a lot of different characters. Are we going to see you doing more characters this season besides the doll and the neighbor? Are we going to see you on missions?
You might see one, I think, but it's, next week, or this Friday rather, I go back to being Melly, and they send me back, and we see what that relationship can turn into at this point. So no, most of the season is Melly. You might get a couple surprises here and there. But season 2, who knows? Who knows what's waiting in the wings for that?
Okay, I know we have several people in the chat room right now, and if you guys want to call in to ask Miracle a question, feel free to do so. 347-215-7952. That's 347-215-7952. And no, there's a lot of hype around Facebook. I noticed there's a lot of people that love the show. You actually have your own Facebook group, right? I
do. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you guys can I think you can join via the miraclelaurie.com website. There should be a link there.
There's a link, and I think I have about 275 fans on Facebook, so that's awesome. And
that'll increase.
Yeah. And I also joined Twitter now, so you can find me there, and there are links to both of those on my website.
What's it like playing Melly? I mean, it was definitely different to see. We kind of had that assumption that she was kind of somewhat clueless at the beginning, but the character itself has developed so much, and we get to, obviously, we have the whole affair with the FBI agent going on. You actually kissed and had sex with him one episode, actually, too.
Can you believe it? I know.
How was he kissing?
Tomo's a lovely, lovely man. Yeah. I love playing Melly. I think she is, I wouldn't call her clueless. She was, played, I think, kind of simply in the beginning. I think that was the point. Just kind of slowly introducing her. I think for her it was just really simple. She's got her life and her job, and she has her life, and really she's just been infatuated with her neighbor for a long time, and is, in her eyes, completely in love with him and doing everything she can to win him over. And she's not completely insecure, but it's she's infatuated with him, and he obviously didn't reciprocate right in the beginning, and it was really fun, and Man on the Street getting to explore her more and let the audience see more of her. And, there's a side that's a little saucy to her, and, she is stronger than you would think right off the bat. And I think it was just a matter of being comfortable with Paul, and watching their relationship develop. So it was great, and Tomo is a very, very kind man. He's a good actor. He was very nice to work with. He's a lovely, lovely person, and we had a lot of fun, and it was really comfortable to explore their relationship, and it was like that the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, and then last week we had that dream sequence with you in there saying why you infatuated with Caroline.
Yeah.
So that's relationship's definitely going to. I wanted to mention something in the chat room. Somebody had actually mentioned something really interesting, and I was going to bring this up too. Mm-hmm. It's nice to see a real woman in a popular series and one sort of a pimped out model, like a lot of other work done. I guess seeing other shows, other series. That have been done. And I have to agree with you on that. I mean, that was what kind of threw me for a loop at the beginning, is because I was thinking, these dolls always have to be these hot looking, stereotypical hot looking people that, are basically, I would say prostituting themselves, although sometimes they do. But then you comes you, which, you aren't the stereotypical gal, which not to say that you're not very, very beautiful and very vivacious, by the way. So yeah, that is something, that is something to have someone that kind of looks, I'm not going to say normal or average, but somebody that looks real, in that part. So I mean, was that something that Josh was looking for?
Absolutely, yeah. It was definitely in the character breakdown from the very beginning for November, for her to be a fuller woman, and it's something he made clear to me as well. He made it very clear that, Miracle, you're beautiful as is, and there need to be more normal-looking women on television, and I don't know why there's not. And so it was something definitely discussed, and it was something, I had to become comfortable with, and I think it's great because, it always goes back to Marilyn Monroe. She was a size 12 and a total knockout. I mean, what do you want? So there, to me, it's more about being healthy. If you're a fuller woman and a taller woman, I'm 5'9.5". I've always been tall for my, when I was younger, I was always taller than all the boys in school. So I'm used to being like a bigger girl, and it's just about being healthy. So just accept your body type, and like Eliza and Deachin, they're tiny, tiny girls anyway. They're beautiful, and they're just totally petite, and that's their body type, and they're both very healthy women. And I am my size and my height, and I consider myself to be a healthy woman. And, so to me, that's what it's about. And I really appreciate Joss fighting to keep November the way that she was meant to be and the way that he saw her. And also the fact that she gets a whole love scene. I think a lot of the fans really kind of were excited about that. Like, the plus-size girl next door gets a love scene with the hot cop. That was very exciting for a lot of people. So it's just great that gets to be explored. And the other thing is, as far as all the dolls in the dollhouse, a lot of them are, smoking hot, great bodies, blah, blah, blah. And the thing about the dollhouse is it's there to fulfill people's fantasies, right? So everyone's fantasy is different. So who's to say there aren't people that want a normal-sized girl or a heavier woman, or, you don't know, or if it's just a companion that you need. It doesn't matter how hot she is. There are all these elements that play that hopefully we'll get to continue to keep exploring if the show gets picked up. And so I think that's why it was important, too, to just say everyone's fantasy is different. You don't know what somebody wants, what their true, heart of hearts desires, and it's good to have options in the dollhouse, I think, as well.
Yeah, another comment from the chat room says that tell her realness makes her hotter.
Well, thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Going into the your character breakdown or whatever, did you know from the beginning that you were going to be a doll, or was that released during one of the script readings?
No, I knew I was going to be a doll. Yeah. How Melly came about and how the reveal of the doll thing, that changed a lot. As you know, the pilot, they reshot that 100 times, and there were a lot of changes and stuff. So I was never really sure how November would be revealed. I just knew that eventually that's what would happen. And I think Melly was was kind of a great happy accident because she's really there to help tell Paul's story. You know, this guy who's kind of a lone wolf and nobody believes him, and he's, you know, he wants to save Caroline and the rest of the dolls. I really believe that's what he wants to do, and that's why, you know, Mellie's kind of okay with the fact, you know, at least for a little bit, that he's kind of obsessed with Caroline, is because she does believe his work is important and that what the Dollhouse does is wrong, ironically enough. You know,